a new Mythical Island event will be dropping in the middle of January 2025 for Pokemon TCG Pocket. And this new event reintroduces a feature that was considered very controversial by many fans. That feature being none other than scoring 5 consecutive wins all over again. That's right, it's the exact same event we got with Genetic Apex a couple of weeks ago. This data leak has been out for a couple of days now, but as more people play the repeated Win 45 matches, it had players questioning if the 5 wins in a row event will ever be returning. And let's just say they're not happy with the fact that it is. We've already covered in a previous video about how these repeated events will get stale very quickly, and that it would be much more interesting to add different gameplay styles to events instead. Like double energy mode, no EX mode, bullet chest mode, all of those examples we said previously. But that aside, people really hate this event. And the reason for it is, it's actually kinda hard to get 5 wins in a row. Especially when Pokemon TCG Pocket is a very RNG based game. Actually, even more so with this new meta being introduced by Mythical Island. But that's not the point of today's video. In fact, more people are upset with one feature in this event. And that is, you can keep playing the event even after you scored 5 wins. If you didn't play the Genetic Apex event a couple of weeks ago, the game stopped recording your wins after 5 in a row. If you managed to get 6, it just wouldn't count it. The graph still stays at 5 and it says complete. And a lot of fans on social media, especially Reddit, got really mad that these expert players could still keep competing and winning even after getting all the rewards. With many fans claiming that they never really stood a chance in trying to get that emblem when you've got a lot of whales and pay to win players just dominating with the best meta decks there is. And remember, a lot of new players won't have the necessary cards to play the highest win rate decks. As much as we like to avoid it, Pokemon TCG Pocket is very pay to win, and it's just got even more noticeable now this mini set has come out. I don't want to even think how bad it's going to get when a 3rd set is released, because for me it's not a problem. I can spend a little money and catch up with all the cards that I missed out. But new players, even if they complete all of the solo battles, use up all their shop tickets and level up to about level 15 relatively quickly, they're only going to be able to open anywhere between 30 to 45 packs. And don't get me started on the pack points, the exchange rates are just horrible. So you got all these influx of new players being punished because they came into the game a bit later than everyone else on release day, and not being able to get the emblem because, to be honest, expert players are just going to jump in and just keep winning. And this isn't an assumption, by the way. In my personal experience when playing the Genetic Apex event with the 5 consecutive wins, the first couple of days were extremely challenging to try and get any consecutive wins. If I can recall correctly, my win pattern was 3 wins in a row, followed by 2 losses, and then securing 5 wins in a row. I was pretty lucky. I was using a Mewtwo Gardevoir deck. At the time, I think it was like the 2nd or 3rd highest win rate deck there was. And I do remember the people that I was playing with in the first couple of days, they were pretty good, and they were really hard to kind of beat. But once I got my 5 wins, as much as I hate to admit it, I did keep on playing, specifically in the event and not in random matches. And I would say my average win rate just kept increasing every single day when I was playing the event. It was very obvious I started going against people who had incomplete decks or just didn't really know how to play the game. And in that instance, why would I ever go back to random matches? Because you win literally nothing if you lose a game. And if you win a game, you get 15 XP that helps go to the next level up, which gives you 12 hourglasses and a rewind clock and some Pokemon Gold. So it would be of no benefit to me, if anything a detriment, to go back to random matches and then even go against people in the expert class mode rather than the beginner, which by the way, you can choose either one, there's no limitations. And I would argue, in my personal experience, the people I was playing against in the event were easier to win against than the people in the beginner section of random matches. And here lies the problem. We all know Pokemon TCG Pocket is changing nothing about this event. It is going to be the exact same as before, just like the 45 wins one. Even if you got your 45 wins, even if you got your 5 wins in a row, you are still going to be able to play the event with no cap. And that's what fans are most angry about. You just can't wait it out and let all the expert players get their rewards and then come in and play people more your ELO or average win rate. So here are my solutions that I think Pokemon TCG Pocket should utilize to rectify the issue. First and foremost, if you complete the event, you should not be able to re-enter it. I think that's a given. It's pretty obvious. I don't think there's any benefit to allowing people to continue playing the event once they've completed it. But I don't think Pokemon TCG Pocket should stop there. I'm certainly not asking for an ELO matchmaking system. The game is like 40% RNG, there's no point in having something like that in this game. Actually, I think that should also be applied to ranking systems. I don't think there's any point in having a ranking system in a game that has so much RNG. Maybe you might disagree with me on that one, that's fine, I get it. But I do think there should be a level cap on when you can keep playing beginner mode. That's the section where you can choose beginner or Pokemon trading card game mode. Which for those of you who are unaware, that's pretty much just beginner mode and expert mode. I think once you reach either level 15 or 100 wins, you can't play beginner mode anymore. However, I do think there should be some bits of matchmaking system going on when you're in expert mode. What I mean by that is the game can obviously tell when you're reusing a certain deck. It'll know that you're using the same Mewtwo Gardevoir deck like 45 times in a row, or you've used it a total of like, 100. I think when you're queuing up with a certain deck, the matchmaking system should behave in different ways. I think if you're using a new deck or a niche deck, that maybe they should put you against somebody that's a little bit below you, because you're at a disadvantage for using something completely new. And whether that deck is something you curated from online or you made yourself, it would be nicer to play that deck against people that are playing similar niche decks or people maybe not as good. It would give newer players a chance to win because you're at a disadvantage, and it would keep new players away from expert players that have been using the same deck over and over again and they know very well. And if you're using the deck that you're very familiar with, like for me, Mewtwo EX and Gardevoir, I should be going up against people who are also using a meta deck they've been running for a good while as well. But who knows, maybe that might be a bad idea. To play devil's advocate, how would that play out when a new set comes out? How would that help new people trying to make new meta-breaking decks? Or using new meta decks from a new set when going against an old meta deck? So maybe that last point might not be as good as the others, but without a doubt, Pokemon TCG Pocket should stop letting people play the event once they've got all the rewards from the missions, their 5-win emblem, their 45-win emblem, whatever. And they should stop letting people play in the beginner bracket once they hit either level 15 or 100 wins, whichever comes first, I don't know. But if you disagree with both of those, I'd actually be really interested to hear your opinions in the comments down below. I was very lucky to get that 5-win emblem very early on. I could imagine it was hell for others. Heck, I think some people didn't even be able to get it. And I don't really want to make any comments about the new meta thanks to Mythical Island, but I feel like this new 5 consecutive win event is going to be even worse than the last. I think this new meta makes it very difficult to get 5 wins in a row compared to the previous one. And actually, I think that's a good thing for Pokemon TCG Pocket. It just means they've established a meta where nobody really wins consecutively, right? They've done a good job then. Which then I would argue kind of defeats the point of this event. I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it. But that is the controversial feature that will be coming back to Pokemon TCG Pocket. Are you looking forward to just being able to spam the event over and over again? Or are you one of those people that agree with me and they should absolutely stop being able to play once they've got everything? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. And if you want to watch another Pokemon video, it should be appearing on the end screen now. Merry Christmas everyone, have a good new year.